All right, everybody, we are back. Another episode of the Sports Clash. It's been a while.
It's been
Uh,
a while.
been a while. I had a baby, so little baby girl,
Yay! Snap it up
and
for Rich.
hey, thank you. So that has been taking up most of my time. We did do
Your
one
wife had
video.
the baby, though, right? Let's just clarify.
Yes, she had the baby.
Okay.
I mean, it is 2024. You never know, but she had the baby, and I also care for it, so I do take some responsibility there. But
Dad
she
of the
went
year.
she went through all the hard work of carrying her for 9 months and then giving birth. So
So you're gonna
recovery
carry
after
her for the next
surgery,
nine
all
months,
that.
right?
Yeah. So yeah. So now I just carry her. For a little papoose. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, congrats, man. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Good to be back.
Thank you. Yes, yes. We've obviously, been chatting, but it's been tough to do this. We did do one video where we did our playoff pick game, which was fun and turned out to come down to the Super Bowl. And
Right. It
there we are.
was
And
perfect.
it's my Chiefs against your 49ers. And the point differential was just enough to where whoever wins the Super Bowl wins. So it worked out well. I'm surprised that our random ass point system that we just came up with actually
It took
worked.
like 10 minutes for
I know.
everybody on here.
I
Yeah.
know.
It worked. It was nice. And
No, it's
I
good.
think it's something we can do going forward.
Absolutely, absolutely. So winner take all. We got a little side plan on that, but should be fun. Super Bowl is here. We're down to two teams. I look. We didn't do any shows during the playoffs. A lot happened. We're not going to talk about all of it, but the conference championship games were football. Like that was NFL football at its best, in my opinion. Fun games. For I think really for the best teams in the league, it came down to. I really
Yeah.
believe that. Uh, I feel really bad for the Lions and their fan base. They had that game. They had it, and
Can we talk
just
about that though at some point?
we can. Would you like to touch on Mr. Campbell, or you want to save
No,
that
I'll bring
for
it up.
later?
Don't worry, I'll
Okay.
bring it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But a
I mean,
sad,
the man should be fired, in my opinion.
no,
You know what?
no.
Anywho, anywho,
All right, we'll talk
let's
about it.
kick that
Oh.
can down the road. It was a great playoffs, though, dude. Honestly, like
Yeah,
I don't necessarily always enjoy the playoffs because
yeah,
I never have a dog in the fight.
uh,
And a lot of times it's literally just what you would expect. This was a great playoffs, though.
yeah,
Packers winning, that was dope. Seven seed winning, like
yeah,
Baker Mayfield going on a run, looking at a possible contract extension. Now let's go Baker.
yeah.
It was a great
Crazy.
playoffs, and I think we came out with the two best teams. You could argue for the Ravens, but I was never high on them all year just because of the Lamar injury potential. And he didn't get injured, but he proved himself not playoff worthy yet
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
So
It's
we'll
tough.
see. But any Harbaugh losing is cool with me. 49ers Chiefs, I think, is probably the best Super Bowl that we could have gotten this year.
See, I agree. I think a lot of people don't agree. I see a lot of people salty about it. A lot of conspiracy theories saying they had to get the Chiefs in, all that junk. Look, you want to talk about that? Fine, but the Chiefs are the Chiefs. I mean, for me, I am loving every second of the Chiefs winning because the more they win, the more they can just slowly erase the Belichick Brady Patriots dynasty, something that everybody said would never happen again. You'll never see a dynasty like this. If the Chiefs keep this up, this is it again. And it feels like it
Heck,
right now. I mean, you can pencil the Chiefs in basically every year for the AFC Championship game. Patrick Mahomes is basically Patrick Mahomes is that guy, that dude that he is. It's just every time he's there. Kelsey, who looked at times lost this year, has found himself in the playoffs and is looking like the Kelsey of old. He's super motivated. I'm Andy Reid. I mean, how much you gotta love Andy Reid, especially when you compare him to
oh God.
Bill Belichick.
That
I
goes to
mean,
the White House and talks about cheeseburgers. You gotta love him.
yeah.
He's
I
the
mean,
man. Icicles in
yeah.
the mustache in that one game, like
Yeah, yeah.
it's incredible.
I know the internet is mad at the Chiefs for Taylor Swift reasons, for which is stupid. Whatever.
I always say the internet was a bad idea anyway. So
Yeah. Blame Al Gore. He invented that shit.
Yeah, that climate change.
But I love it, and I'm rooting for the Chiefs.
Mhm.
And I, look, the Niners have been here. They were here a couple years ago. You knew this kind of core would be back. Obviously, they have a different quarterback this go around in Brock Purdy, who Chris, I mean, he's looked really good. Looked really good. What do you think about Purdy, your boy?
All this year, I was on the 49ers. I said early on, they're the team to beat. They trade for Chase Young. They're the team to beat. But I never believed in Brock Purdy. But I will say now, I'm a Purdy guy. I'm definitely into Brock Purdy. But I think this Super Bowl comes down to, does Brock Purdy get nervous, freak out, make the mistakes that we've seen that he can make? And the Chiefs, Chris Jones in particular, get pressure without having to send extra blitzers. Again, can the 49ers offensive line give Purdy the time to not make mistakes, essentially? So I really do think that the Super Bowl hinges on Brock Purdy. They're favored. I think they're the best team in the league by far, but the clock's ticking on their roster too. This was a roster that was built through the draft, and they got to pay some dudes pretty soon. And Brock Purdy's going to be one of them if he's going to win this game. If he's your guy, he's making under $1 million right now, so it's not sustainable. I think the 49ers, as the favorites on the book, are the favorites to win, but unscheduled plays happen. And who's the best at that? Pat Mahomes,
Patty
Travis
Mahomes.
Kelce. Travis Kelce probably didn't look like the Travis Kelce of old because his free time was taken up during the week. He wasn't just throwing balls in the gym with Pat
Hmm.
Mahomes, working on scramble drills, right? He was scrambling eggs the morning after for Taylor Swift. But anywho,
Nice.
there is
Nice.
definitely, I think, an incredible matchup here in the trenches because the Chiefs' defensive line is awesome. They're missing, uh, I think, a dude or two on the offensive line, so that'll be interesting. But the 49ers offensive line has been known to give up some pressure towards Purdy where he makes mistakes. 49ers defensive line on the other side, incredible, but hasn't gotten any pressure in the playoffs. So who do you get? And that's to me the soap opera of this game is what happens right at the line of scrimmage
Mm.
and not the quarterbacks that everybody's really talking about. But it's gonna be I'm so pumped for this game. I'm actually really excited for a
Yeah,
Super Bowl for the first time in a while.
me too. I don't know. I don't really
Only because of the hate.
understand any of the negativity.
Right.
These are two great teams, two fun teams. I still say the Chiefs are likable, but I get why people don't like them. But I love watching Mahomes. I don't have the issues with Kelsey that a lot of people have, and Andy Reid is Andy Reid. Chris
Yeah,
Jones is
he's a
a
great
beast.
player.
I mean, come on, it's
Yeah,
Rushy Rice is a guy that I'm enjoying watching
got a
as.
Chiefs hat. Like, I
Yeah, I
like
know.
the
Well,
Chiefs.
you have all the hats. You're a man of many hats, as I call you. So that's not
Well, my
surprising.
actual team sucks, so
Well, yeah.
that's
Hey,
fine.
they're in the news. Well, we'll talk about that later. But um, yeah, for me, picks. I'll say mine. You know what it is. It's Chiefs money
You
line.
already know what it is.
You already know what it is. It's Chiefs money line. I got it at I think plus 115.
You're not
Uh,
even taking the points?
no, I'm going money line. I think they win this game. And I could see I could see a route, but I think it's a tight game. I could see a route. I could be wrong here. I can't see a route on the Niners side. I think the Chiefs will just be too prepared. Um, I would be shocked if it's not a game on that end. I think it's a game. I think it's going to be a tight game. The points scared me. I didn't even want to take. It was a 2.5 point buffer at the time. I don't even know. I think it's down to 1.5 now. Um, I think the Chiefs win this
It
game.
is 1.5.
I think the experience pays. And Purdy makes that one mistake that ends up being the difference in the game. Christian McCaffrey is going to be tough to stop. He's basically an automatic 2 touchdowns every game now. But this Chiefs
Yeah.
defense, this has been the difference with the Chiefs this year.
Number 2 in the league, I think I saw.
Yeah, and every one of their games, I mean, they held the Ravens to 10 points. The Bills got them for 24. That's the most they had given up in weeks. They shut the Dolphins down 7 points. I mean,
It was
every
-22.
Every week, the Chiefs' defense is shutting down offenses and offenses that score all year long. So they're the team to beat, in my opinion. I took them. The fact I'm getting plus money on the money line, phenomenal. Put a nice hefty bet on my scale for it, so I'm all in. But Christopher, I see your hat. I know your pick. What do you
Dude,
got?
this is, I mean, we're living up to the title of this thing. I am going to go the exact opposite of you, and that's 49ers money line, which I
Yeah.
took pretty much right after they won. I was really, really excited to see how close the spread was, um, because I think that in the playoffs, the 49ers have underperformed. Now there's a counterpoint to that where like, okay, they're playing great team after great team after great team. But my point to that is they're not having a home field advantage that's negative 20 degrees as well. So I know everybody's got to deal with it, but Miami is not going to deal with that pretty well. So I think that was a little bit more of a fluke. McCaffrey's been incredible. I think Debo getting hurt was rough for them in a couple of
Yes.
games. But I'm looking at this as the spread should be 3.5. That's how I'm saying it, but I'm taking them since it's gotten so close to money line, right? Because I don't want to bet against Pat Mahomes, and I know that Brock Purdy is susceptible to the mistake, and he is young, but the cast of characters around him is way leagues better than what Mahomes has around him. So I'm betting on the team rather than the player, and I think that the team overcomes. I think Shanahan prepares just as well as Andy Reid. I know might get some flack for that, but I think Shanahan's a great coach. And I think Purdy comes in locked in. They have a game plan that protects him from making the mistakes as best they can. And I think their defensive line finally shows up. I'm waiting for my boys, Bosa and Young, to pin their ears back and go get the quarterback. Now, there's kind of a double-edged sword with that against Mahomes because if you flush him out of the pocket, you're fucked.
Yes.
Essentially, you're screwed. You need to create a pocket with those defensive ends, and have him step up into it and make his only scramble forward. And then you're scrambling into, a Greenwood or a who's their main middle linebacker, Warner, Pete Warner, right? You're scrambling into that. So as long as they
Fred
can
Warner.
keep
Yeah.
him contained
Yeah.
inside the hashes, maybe even, I think that they're going to do really, really well. Now, Chiefs have a better secondary than the 49ers do right now, but I think the run game leans towards the 49ers on both the offensive side and the defensive side of the ball. Did just see that Kadarius Tony might be returning punts.
I don't know
I'm
why.
betting on the 49ers
I
for
don't know
that.
why you'd even mess with that. I don't know. That's just like
But also, I did see that Jarek McKinnon may be back as well, and anybody who plays fantasy knows that he can go off for 2 receiving touchdowns, 40 fantasy points, and be a game changer out of the backfield for them too. Much more
right.
explosive than Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So this is I can't shut up about it. That's how good I think this matchup is,
Yeah.
and how much I think the Taylor Swift detractors are going to miss out on a really good football game just because they're really pissed about
Yeah.
stupid things.
Yeah. And
Right.
and another great part is that these teams are healthy. Everybody's
Right.
playing. I think the biggest injury is probably on the Chiefs side. Guard Joe Tooney. He missed last week.
Right.
But I mean, he's a big piece of the offensive line, but they managed without him last week. He's questionable. If he plays, I'm sure it's a bonus unless he's playing hurt and it could be an issue. But I think they'll figure it out. The line was fine last week against a good Ravens front. So, but on the Niners side, nobody is really hurt. Kittle hasn't practiced all week, but they said that he's on pace to go. So that's not a issue. So these teams are healthy, and
Yeah.
that's fun. That's big. You want to see the best teams with their at full capacity playing their best, and that's what we're getting.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I think it's a
No, it's
win-win
definitely
for
it
football
worked out.
fans.
Yeah, it worked out. It was a great playoffs, and it actually worked out
Yeah.
the best.
Now you're
But
wrong
we'll
about the
see.
winner,
I think
but
this is
you
the
know,
last time the 49ers have a shot to win with this team. Sorry.
yes, yes, it is, hundred
They got to
percent.
pay some people.
Yeah, no, that's it. And they're not going to win. You're wrong about that, but the Chiefs will conquer. I'm very excited. But the
You're
best
all
part
about Chiefs
is,
King.
look, I'm in. I bet on them. They've been underdogs the last 2 weeks. I'm printing money. Print money over here.
Hey, don't steal my phrase.
The printing press is on. It's been
All right.
The Chiefs and
All right,
Dante
boy. Now
DiVincenzo threes are just it's raining down in the Arleo household.
I know, dude.
Nonstop
Every
hits.
day with the Dante DiVincenzo threes over. But let's get into best bets for the Super Bowl then, man.
Yes. Yeah,
Let's
let's
talk
do
about
that.
that then. We got our picks. We're opposites, but
Yeah.
there's plenty other shit to bet on. So
Yes.
we
There's a lot of fun stuff. Um let's talk about the player props first. I got two that I really love. Uh One you could say it's boring, but it's Travis Kelsey anytime touchdown at plus 105. He's scored in two straight. Again, he didn't have his best season, but he's locked in right now. They will be targeting him. If you are a conspiracy theorist, I mean that's the bet to take because the people want Travis Kelsey in the end zone and a shot at Taylor Swift celebrating. So regardless, I mean the man has looked great the last 2 weeks, and I think he gets in the end zone once again. That is my favorite touchdown prop. And then my other player prop that I like on the Niners side is Debo Samuel total rushing and receiving combined over 78.5. Got that at minus 115. I like the number. It hit last week, but before that, you have to go back a couple weeks. It's the last time that number's hit on the combined total. But he was hurt in the Packers game, so you kind of throw that one out. They need him. He just got to break off one of them, which he usually does. I see him getting 80 plus combined, regardless of how he gets it, whether it's through the air or on the ground. I really like that one. So those are my two favorite player props. What do you got on the player prop end?
Oh yeah, I'll do you one better on Kelsey. I like him for the first touchdown, along with McCaffrey for the first touchdown because you get nice plus odds on those.
Yeah.
And if you bet it right, you'll make a profit if one of those two score. But I also could see three people in this game having two touchdowns as well: Kelsey, McCaffrey, and Debo.
Yes.
So I like your Debo bet. I think that's solid. One of my favorite ones that I put in was use check the score. I know you know I
Yes.
love Kyle.
I joined you on that. That's always a fun one. We did that a couple
Yeah.
years back when the Niners
Yep.
were in the
And he
Super
did it.
Bowl, and he did it.
And he
That
did it,
year,
and
I
he had
think that
2
was
opportunities to do it in the championship game too, so we'll see, but there is also a prop out there for Juszczyk or McCaffrey to score a touchdown, which has, like, plus 100 odds as well. So you can kinda bundle them up.
okay.
No, sorry,
I was
first touchdown.
okay, okay, okay.
Sorry, it's plus 350 for first touchdown, either Juszczyk or McCaffrey. So you can bundle your McCaffrey in there with the first touchdown and actually make some money there. But again, I am pretty much moneyline 49ers, and I did dabble in the MVP conversation,
Okay.
and I put up Brock Purdy.
Hey,
So,
look, if you're betting on the Niners, that's a smart pick because Purdy's paying. Even though the Niners are favored, I believe Purdy on the MVP line is paying more than Mahomes is. Um,
mhm,
so
plus 300, plus 290.
it's usually a quarterback Um, unless a defender has two pick sixes or something like that, or a huge game on the defensive side, or a running back goes off. I could see McCaffrey. If the
Right.
guy has three touchdowns and they win, you're probably going to give it to him. But it's usually a quarterback award. The winning team's quarterback, the odds are in their favor, so I like that. I also,
Always, and there's so many stars on the 49ers that I think, like, if there are multiple touchdowns scored, like Debo has 100 yards and a touchdown, but McCaffrey has 75 yards and a touchdown, all of a sudden, it's gonna go default probably to the quarterback as long as he's throwing for 200 yards and, 25 completions and puts up okay numbers, it just kinda happens. Chris Jones had some decent MVP odds, though, to kinda blow up the 49ers line, get some sacks on the young kid, but I don't think that happens. I think it's strictly going to be either Mahomes or Purdy, unless McCaffrey scores two. Something like that happens. So
yeah, I don't
I have
see
Debo,
alignment. Yeah,
Debo, anytime as well.
I like that. I mean, I think he's going to have a nice game. He's always tough to stop. Uh,
Hmm.
so that's fine. All right, good player props. Let's go with the other props. The Super Bowl always has some fun stuff. Um,
There's probably some Taylor Swift ones out there, aren't there?
I haven't seen, but I noticed that see, I put my bets in now. I have a bunch of bets in now, but I always end up Sunday during the day, looking through and just seeing a bunch of things that I hadn't seen all week. And then I'm like, just getting antsy. I'm like, oh, this is good. This is good. And then I just basically screw up my whole bankroll with losing $10 little sprays here and there. But
I'm guilty.
it happens. All right. Here's my favorite one. 2 point conversion attempt, plus 128 on that.
That'll happen. That's a
So,
good one.
it happened last year with the Eagles. I was looking
Oh
through the
wait, no, Dan
history.
Campbell.
Yeah, no Dan Campbell, but given the way the NFL is nowadays, if somebody gets into a position where the numbers say, and then if the
Analytics for
numbers
sure.
analytics tells you, you go for it. You go for it. I like the odds at plus 128. I look
Yes.
back at Super Bowl history. It happened last year, but then it hadn't happened since I think 2017. So it had been a couple years. It's going to be a tight game. People want to play it safe. You get the point attempts, but I like it just throughout the course of the game. Yeah, and it doesn't have to be converted. It's just the attempt. You just one team needs to attempt it. So
Mhm.
plus 128, I love it. And then tails never fails.
No,
It's a
no.
it's a 50-50. It always is fun.
I go presidential
Um,
for the
you do,
Mr.
yeah, yeah,
Washington.
yeah. See, you
It's
know, I'm pretty sure. We watched the last couple of years together. I think tails. I think it was tails last year, but it was heads the year before.
it's like tails every year, and I have to hear that tails never
Tails
fails
never
from people
fails,
like
man.
hating.
Yeah, yeah.
What's
Did
your
you?
Gatorade color
I
though?
was I
What's your
was
Gatorade?
literally I was literally just about to ask you. I have not picked it yet, but
Okay.
I'm leaning between red, which is the betting favorite because both teams are red. Um, but I do like white slash water. Um,
That was the COVID year.
yes, they did that the COVID year. Um, white, that's a great Gatorade flavor. Always a favorite of mine.
Nice.
So,
Here.
the galactic ice or whatever they call it, delicious. So, those I'm probably leaning. But sometimes I've seen tips on this on Twitter where it's like people are like scanning the Gatorade bottles, like what they're pouring in. You never know, but I'm leaning those two. What are you thinking?
You can't do that. It's a powder. They use a powder when it comes to those big barrels. The electronics are
Okay,
fucking
yeah, but if
broken.
somebody's gonna be watching who the powder
Most common, lemon, lime, or
yellow.
orange.
Yeah,
I'm going orange.
orange. Orange is the play.
Orange.
I like
Orange is the
orange. I like orange. Um, that could be my little nod to the Knicks in the Super Bowl. So maybe I kind of like that little orange action. You got me thinking. You got me thinking about it. It's
I
a it's
did
a it's a
orange. I'm
must
telling you.
bet. It's a must bet Super Bowl prop.
Have
It's
to.
I remember a couple years ago they didn't fucking show the Gatorade bath, and
I know.
I was like, "What is going on?" I go on Twitter. It was like, "What the hell? What was the color? What was the color?" It's fun. You got to pick it. I'll let you know what I end up taking. That'll probably be a day of decision, but I love it.
Alright, let me know. I'm going
Yes.
orange or lemon lime. That's my thing. I did get the clear one though when it hit, and
I
that
like.
was like, I can't believe people actually bet on this. I'm the luckiest guy in the world. How do they know it? Like, what is it was
Yeah.
that's always a fun one to take.
Yes. Definitely. Do you have any other props that you like?
Not really. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a missed field goal.
I like that.
But that's really the only other one that I was looking at. I'm waiting for some Tay props, definitely, and I'm going mostly with touchdown scorers and just pretty much standard football stuff. So,
Yeah.
um, I don't know. Wasn't Chris Stapleton who did the national anthem last year too? He went super
It
long,
was a
or
couple of
maybe that
years
was
ago.
a couple
Um,
years ago. I haven't
yeah,
seen that out there
that's
yet.
a fun one. Anthem time over under. It
Oh
depends
yeah.
on who sings it. But yeah, that's worth a look. I
Nothing
think
like a
you'll
bunch of
see that.
dudes seeing like, an Aretha Franklin note at the end, and women are getting teary-eyed, and every guy's going, "No!"
I
Just
love it.
holding on to
Yeah,
that note. But yeah.
I need to find it. I'm looking CBS Sports. Apparently, it's Reba McEntire singing the national anthem.
Oh, Reba doesn't
Um,
hold notes. Go the under. Reba
yeah,
is a storyteller. She does not melody. She does melodize, whatever it is.
melodious. Oh yeah,
I know nothing about music,
that's a
dude.
musical term for sure.
But she does not like hold notes long. She is a very, very short, almost like a storyteller, old school folk.
Yeah.
country person.
So
Uh,
there's stats on this here. Reba McEntire performed the Star Spangled Banner in Game 3 of the '97 World Series between the Florida Marlins and the then Cleveland Indians. That rendition clocked in at a roughly 83 seconds. The over under for her performance in some books right now is 89 and a half seconds. So if you believe she's still like she was in '97, going at 83 seconds, you want to bet the under, but that was a long time ago. Maybe she slowed
all right,
down in
I'm
her
all in on
older
this now.
age. Yeah, I don't know. If I once I find out 89 and a half, that's tough. It's a good line. Vegas
So for
just knows
everybody
what they're doing.
listening, I grew up on country music. One thing Reba will do is pull the mic away, look at the crowd, take a second,
She does
and
that
go
in
to
the
the next
middle.
note. She doesn't hold notes long. Like she's not that type of person, but she will let it simmer and is a great performer. So I'm excited. I'm glad to hear. I didn't know that that was going to be her. Stapleton, obviously, we're both big fans of. Incredible. Who's the halftime show?
Usher, I think.
Not sure.
Yeah,
Special appearance by Justin Bieber, maybe?
maybe.
Because I'd be into that.
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is it's Usher. So
Birdie guy and a believer over here.
yeah, there's something else. Let me tell you.
Thanks, man.
well,
Uh,
anything else on the big game, or just
no, I'm just
ready to
really
wrap?
excited about it. I never really cared about a Super Bowl, and this one seems pretty fun. It seems like it'll be a good game. I just hope it stays close.
All right, Chris and I have cooked up a new segment for all of you, based on another one of our dumb terms that we like to use. Um, this segment is called LFG or Nabi.
Nah,
we we we're gonna bring up a couple of questions, themes, something, a statement that we're either gonna agree with or not agree with. Nabi, I'm telling you,
it's our
I don't
way of
know.
respectfully disagreeing when we 100% disagree.
Yeah, instead of saying you're the fucking dumbest person in the world, I'm just saying Nabi, Nabi.
Touche.
So
Yes, exactly. So
LFG or
let's go.
Nabi. Let's go. Chris, start us off the first ever.
All
Let's
right,
hear it.
so let's go straight in from the Super Bowl here, right? We're going to go with football. I'm going to say that this is going to be a game that comes down to the last second.
Nah, B.
Ah, you
Nah.
think it's going to be decided before the 2 minute warning?
Uh, no, but I believe the Chiefs end up kneeling it out. So not last second, but I think they get the ball with
Bobby.
30, 30, 40 seconds left,
Uh,
and I think the Chiefs will have time to kind of close it out. So nah, B on your statement. What is
all
your
right, sounds good. Fine, fine. Here's another one though. Same game related. A non QB wins the MVP.
nah, B? Patty Mahomes, QB man.
And we kind of talked about that, but yeah, I agree. I think it's a quarterback, a quarterback award. But yeah, those are my 2 for the Super Bowl at the very least. But I think it's gonna be a very, very close game. I think it's gonna be decided after the 2 minute warning, and I do think that the quarterback will win. Whoever wins will win the MVP.
So game being decided in the last second. Your declaration is
I'm LFG, baby.
all right. I like it. I like it. Okay. I'll keep us going. I have a statement here that I want to see if you agree or not. So the NFC beat the AFC in the Flag Football Pro Bowl here, 64-59 on a Sunday afternoon.
Oh, incredible.
The Flag Football Pro Bowl games are an improvement over the traditional Pro Bowl. LFG or Mojave?
Yeah, LFG, 100% an improvement, definitely. I
Uh,
completely agree. I'm not watching it still, and I don't think a lot of people are watching it still, but at least these guys are gonna go hard because 'cause they're not gonna get tackled, right? So, what was the score?
64-59. A little
LFG,
flag
all day.
football
Let's fucking
action.
go. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm into it, and I think now that flag football is an Olympic sport too, and these guys run their own like flag football camps and things like that, they're into it as well. And I think that just trickles down to the fans, and it's better. I still will never watch a Pro Bowl. There's no freaking reason to, but it is what it is. I think it's a great change and a smart change. What do you think?
Ah, B. Give me the pads. Give me some football. I mean, the guys are done with their season. The guys who are still playing aren't playing anymore. Put the pads on and play. Up their monetary incentives. I think the winning team, every player on the winning team gets 88,000. Um, give them 200K. Give them something. Give them a
I didn't
nice.
even know they got paid.
Yeah, the winning everybody who participates, I believe, gets 44K, but the winning team doubles it. So I would
Hmm.
say, I mean, give everybody who's in 100K and then the winning team 200K, and get the pads back on and let's go. I saw it was making the rounds today. Sean Tiller's hit in the Pro Bowl on Brian Moorman, the punter, where he just absolutely wrecked him. And everybody's like, "Oh man, Pro Bowl used to be great." Probably, I'm pretty sure Sean Taylor's the only one who took the Pro Bowl seriously, even back in 2007. But the late
God
great
bless
Sean
them.
Taylor, R.I.P. I mean, he was special, and that hit on Moorman was just
Yeah.
it was a beast.
He
So
was
I
the
mean,
Pete Rose of the Row Bowl. Oh,
the
of the
Pro
Pro Bowl.
the Rose Bowl. The Rose Bowl.
Rose
Yes.
Bowl. That's what I almost said.
Yes,
Yeah, he
he
was
was
the
he
Pete
was the guy
Rose.
who said, "I'm playing, like, this is the game, I'm in, like, and I'm gonna hit
Well,
the
you
shit out
put
of it."
pads on like I'm
Give
a
me
different
that.
beast. I agree with that though. I mean, we saw what happened with the NBA in season tournament. I mean, people were motivated to actually play these games.
Mhm.
Just where was the Pro Bowl this year? Was it in
Vegas, I believe.
It was in Vegas. Okay, good. When it was in Hawaii, it was just such a spectacle. It was just such a random time. Just it was a vacation for all of them. Now that it's in Vegas, still kind of a vacation. I say put it in freaking the Iron Bowl in Birmingham, Alabama, or the Cotton Bowl, or whatever in Texas, and like make it a football game. But I
Yeah,
don't hate it because I don't think there's any way you make it any better. If you have them hitting, I mean, these guys are
yeah,
worried about their contracts. They're not the guys that are worried about $100,000. They're usually the guys that are worried about a lot more money.
yeah,
But I can see both ways. I
yeah,
am definitely an LFG on it now, and I think the players are, and I think that's the most important part.
yeah, and I look, whatever the incentive is, I don't ever expect these guys to be risking their careers out over the Pro Bowl. But, if you could put a little bit of effort in and put the pads on, give them some more money, I would watch that. I turned it on today, and I'm like, "This is
I know.
I just
I
don't
walked away.
care. I don't care. I'm not gonna watch
It's
it."
just
And
fun.
I wasn't watching the Pro Bowl either before they changed this. But if you put the pads back on, you made something a little bit more exciting, gave them some kind of incentive. I would much prefer that. But all right,
Wait till somebody gets the hip drop.
yeah, yeah. Well, that could be problematic. But all
Right.
right, I got another one for you.
What do we got?
One of Bill Belichick, Pete Carroll, or Mike Vrabel will be an NFL head coach before the 2024 NFL season ends. Before the 2024 regular season ends.
Oh, you think they signed mid-season?
What do you think?
I'm gonna go nah B. I don't
Nah.
think any of those guys will sign a breakneck contract and not come in and risk their reputation and their name on like trying to like come in and like be a band-aid. You know what I mean? I think if anything, I could see Vrabel taking a coordinator job or dipping back to college. Um, Belichick, I can see sitting out, although this will be the first time he hasn't coached since he was like 20 years old or something like that. I read, and he seems sad about it, but I don't think so. I'm gonna go Nabi.
Fair, but I'm gonna go LFG. I think the fact that not any of these guys have gotten a head coaching job is shocking to me.
Crazy.
Um, I mean, there's guys who are getting jobs that I don't understand. None of these guys should be getting coordinator jobs. I know Pete Carroll has kind of a advisory role with Seattle, so whatever. Vrabel, I could see taking a coordinator spot, but he could end up getting elevated to where a head coach position wherever he goes, unless it's an unbelievable team with a coach that's locked in. Or and Belichick, I mean, like you
That's a good
said,
point.
the guy's been coaching for forever. I think he's pissed that he doesn't have a job right now, and I think he wants to get back. In the first minute, team goes 0 for 4. If they want to throw big money at Bill, I think he takes it. So
Hot
LFG.
take. What if he takes the Boston College head coaching job
Ugh,
for a year?
I
It's vacant right now. Halfley went to the Green Bay Packers.
couldn't
Subway.
care less. Gross. Don't care. Get it. Look, Bill Belichick's done the NFL great. I don't want to see him, but I'd be shocked.
Right.
That's all. Keeping it rolling. You got another candidate on
I
LFG or
do.
Nabi?
You're gonna love this, and this is in the wake of some recent news of my Orioles going ahead and getting a top of the line Justin Verlander type starter in Corbin Burns. I'm not going to say anything about that. What I'm going to say is that 100% the Cy Young comes from the AL East this year. Baseball.
LFG. I mean,
Yeah.
they had it last year. Garrett Cole. I think if Carlos Rodon has a bounce back year, he's a candidate.
Made it in a
Um,
dynasty.
Corbin Burns obviously now is a candidate. People sleep on Kyle Bradish, but I think he's got the stuff. Bradish, is it Bradish? I don't know. I just call him Bradish.
I call him
Whatever,
Bradish too.
whatever.
I
Call him
also say
Bradish.
Mario instead of Mario.
Yeah, yeah. So it is what it is. The Blue Jays have three pitchers, I'd say, who are capable of it. Especially Kevin Gossman, your
Mm.
your favorite Oriole great. The Rays, who knows what they're doing, but yeah, I mean, who's the Rays? Even their number one, Zach Eflin's their number one starter, and it's nuts. But they
They still have
always.
McClanahan, I think, right?
I guess he's hurt. He's not listed because he's hurt.
And Baz.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it'll come from the Rays. They'll even if they pitch great, they'll get
Aaron
hurt. They'll get hurt.
Savali.
Yeah, Savali, who again pitched great when he got there, but whatever they do with their pitchers, man, I mean, they work them in a weird way where they dominate, but they keep getting elbow injuries. So
It's all about spin rate. That's why. It's
yeah,
all about spin rate, and that's
yeah,
why they keep getting elbow injuries.
yeah,
Is because the rise of the slider and the slurve and all
yeah,
whatever the sweeper now. That's the
yeah.
reason. I mean, they had Chris Archer. They destroyed. They ran Chris Archer into the ground.
That
Two
guy.
pitches, fastball, slider. I
Yeah,
think he threw his slider like 40% of the time or 50% of the time. It was ridiculous. But at the same time, like they've got these guys that can just spin it like it's a wiffle ball game, and that's why I think that it's a safe bet to say that the Cy Young comes from the AL East. I also think I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. There, I think John Means wins 15 games. What do you
if
think
he's
about that?
healthy, I don't even know why I fist bump, but I've always liked John Means. I think he's legit. He's very good. Um,
He
yeah,
doesn't
I
get enough
wouldn't be
credit.
shocked.
He was a substitute teacher. He's the man. I love
Yeah,
him, but
yeah,
yeah, he had a few injuries, and I think people are sleeping on him. I think he could win 15 games, but
yeah.
again, as he goes, I think the O's will go. But Garrett
Yes,
Cole is the reigning Cy Young,
yes,
and you guys just brought in Stroman,
yeah.
Snell.
Probably not signing. I Snell's hasn't signed yet. Apparently, the buzz is the Yankees are the only team that's offered him a contract, and it's lower than he
Right,
wants. But I don't know. We'll see. But I mean, he was the NL Cy Young last year too. So if they bring him
right.
in,
Rodon with the Giants was pretty close to the NL Cy Young.
yeah,
Corbin Burns was, I think, in the top 7 of the Cy Young for the past 3 years for the Brewers,
yeah,
and, you got some great top of the line starters in the AL East. I don't see it happening anywhere else. I would
no,
say,
agreed,
3 out of the 5 top 5 are gonna be from the AL East.
agreed, 100% LFG on that one. No, I'm gonna go with this one.
Oh,
So the 2026 FIFA World Cup Final will be at MetLife Stadium, and they will be installing grass because it's a requirement, which has been a hot topic at the MetLife because that turf has been killing Aaron Rodgers and others badly. So, LFG or Nabi, MetLife should not waste their time and just get going and install that grass right away before the 2024 NFL regular season starts.
hmm. This is an interesting one because with that comes employing an entire staff of turf
Yes.
experts, right? And an entire maintenance staff that you didn't have to have when you paid that tremendous upfront cost to put in field turf or whatever the brand is that you put in MetLife. I don't think they get started on it until they know if they're going to have it. I really don't. I think that they're going to be about the money, and it is what it is. I remember specific. This is such a weird example, but like my mother's school put in field turf at their high school, and it was so expensive. It's a huge upfront cost to do, but then you don't have to pay anybody to maintain it. You
Yeah.
just kind of rake it every once in a while, and it's cool. It is what it is, but I think they should. I don't think that they will preemptively. And I would love if the World Cup final was at MetLife. I would just go stand outside the stadium since I live in New Jersey.
I think it's official. I believe it was officially announced today.
Is that right?
So
Yeah, I saw the scheduling thing
yeah,
on TV today, and I was like, it's 2 years later, I don't really care."
yeah,
But, there's people in, like, England going nuts and, like, Germany, like,
yeah, yeah.
people really following that type of stuff, but, if that's the case, I'm pumped about it. They couldn't have picked a more vanilla stadium, but a better city to host it.
Yeah, you know what could be crazy there? American Dream Mall for that final. I mean, you could have the bars in there be insane, insane.
Yeah.
I don't want to drive there, but if I could get there without driving, I think that would be fun.
Why is there a 2-lane, 3-lane road, a
It's gonna be a
trucker
shit
highway that
show.
goes to MetLife? Like, I just don't get it.
That's gonna be a shit show.
It is
I
a logistics
oh
nightmare,
my
that
god.
place.
I
Plus, you got the FanDuel Sportsbook right next to it too. You have a bunch of it would be fun, and I
It's gonna be fun. Yeah,
love the World Cup.
it's gonna
Like,
be
I
fun.
love
It's gonna be crazy, but fun. I'm excited.
so
And
lower
I
my
want
taxes
them
if that's
get
the
that.
case, right?
Yeah. Well, now they got to spend money to get grass in there. So, but
Touche.
all right,
What do you think? I say Nabi. They will
I
not make the
say let's fucking go and get it in there and save Aaron Rodgers' Achilles and save Brees Hall's knees and let's get that grass in there. I get it fixed.
you got time for one more?
All the time in the world, but
All right, LFG or Nabi, the Jets draft a quarterback.
LFG, but not in the first or second round. I think that they might look at somebody later on.
But
Second
why?
round, I worry. I don't know, but I can see them spend if there's a guy that they kind of like in the fourth or fifth round. I mean, why not? I don't know if they do or will, but I don't think it's the worst option if you're in the right spot there. Um, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. Are they going to have Zach Wilson be the backup again?
No,
What are we
he's
doing?
gone. You kidding me? You can bring that guy back? Absolutely not. He's gone. He's gone. I think I'm gonna say, why not just draft a tremendous core with all your picks? And then when Rodgers is done, obviously you get a backup in there right now, but when Rodgers is done, sign the next best free agent. You know what I mean? If you have the best team out there, it's gonna be appealing to
I
another
agree.
corner.
I agree. But the problem is the quarterback is so important that yeah, you're probably not gonna find. I mean, I look at guys like Brock Purdy, and you're saying, "Oh, never know," but that's a credit to
Jets do
coaching,
have a
which
chance to draft Mr. Irrelevant this year, by the way. They may, with compensatory picks, have the last pick in the draft.
mm, we'll see. I I I say LFG because I could see it happening, but I don't. I wouldn't be shocked either way. And it's not going to be in the first
Yeah,
couple of rounds because they got
that
to
was my
shore.
walk on.
I
Yeah.
like it. I like it to shore up the offensive line before anything. All right, LFG or Nabi. I like it. Little rapid fire action. Good stuff. We're so smart. All right, let's keep it rolling with the OG of the segments. Everybody's favorite. The good, the bad, and the shitty. I will get us started with my good. And really, he's a phenomenal. He's Jalen Brunson, named to you knew I wasn't going this whole podcast without mentioning my
No,
Knicks,
I knew it.
who are the 4 seed in the East right now, should be the 3rd seed, but the Cavs for some reason keep winning, which is annoying. But Jalen Brunson, finally named to his first All Star game. Should have been a starter over Donovan Mitchell, but whatever. But Jalen Brunson in his last 15 games is averaging 30.9 points per game. He's getting to the free throw line 7 times a game, making 86% of his free throws. He's grabbing 4 rebounds a game, 7 assists per game, and the Knicks are 13-2 in those 15 games, of which they've lost both Julius Randle and OG Anunoby in the last four or five games. So he is just unbelievable. He is your game winner. Um, you saw that they need Ananobi and Randall back in that Lakers game over the weekend because they doubled and tripled Brunson the
Yeah,
entire fourth quarter. And I don't care who you are. I mean, if you can't kick it out and hit somebody who's gonna do anything, and DiVincenzo's taking like 15 threes a game, and it's awesome for my betting, and he's a great 3-point shooter. But that's still a little nuts. I mean, you'd like for him to be a more efficient, 5 of 10, 5 of 11 from three, rather
right.
than rather than taking 15 plus. That's J.R. Smith type levels there. So you need those guys back. But Jalen is just he's a joy to watch. I'm trying to take in and enjoy every second of it. These injuries have been very frustrating because the next round's such a roll. You just want to see them keep going, but stay the course, get healthy, because the goals for the Knicks are big now. So I love it. And real quick, fuck Stephen A. Smith. He's the worst Knicks fan. He has dethroned Spike Lee as the cream of the crap Knicks fans in my
Cream of the
world.
crap. I
Yeah,
love it. I love it.
just
Yeah, Spike
complete
Lee's the worst.
garbage. He just a month ago he said, "I'm a bigger star than anybody on the Knicks," which was the most disrespectful shade to Brunson, to Randall, to everybody on that team, to the organization. Fuck you, man. And now he's all excited about his Knicks. Get out of here.
Yeah, I
Curse.
saw that. Hey, the man knows how to ride coattails. The man knows how to get clicks. What it is.
He's great at it. I'll give him that. All right, keep us going.
So my good might surprise you, but recent news again, and we're talking about our own teams here. Recent news that John Angelos and the Angelos family have decided to sell the Baltimore Orioles. I'm saying this is a good because it's from my perspective and the perspective of pretty much everybody else in the entire world other than John Angelos. I think this man finally made the right decision that he cannot do it. He just cannot run an organization that is very public facing, and keep his emotions in check and be a solid businessman or a great owner in the sport of baseball. Good for him. Got a few $1 billion out of it, almost two, right? But this is a guy who has gone to battle with the governors, or sorry, the mayors of Baltimore. He has accosted reporters, suspended his play-by-play guy. He has been sued by his brother. He has called his father demented. He has done everything that is not okay with being the face of a franchise. So good, good is John Angelos for realizing that he cannot do it. And there's money to be made and selling the Orioles to a fellow Baltimore native. And I'm so excited about that because all the talk of them moving somewhere, whether it be Nashville, whether it be Oklahoma City, wherever, whatever city I've heard rumblings of, this is one of the best franchises in baseball with a lot of history, great fans, and I am calling John Angelos my good for just realizing that you suck. Like you just really you can't do it. So cash out, just like a big bet that you don't think's going to win, and go ahead and do it. Now you could call it a bad because the Orioles are about to pop. They've got a great farm system. They have the right front office. They just made a nice trade or whatever. But at the same time, I think he was the biggest detriment to the team and the organization. And for him to step aside, get his money, good for you, John Angelos. And I hope I never hear from you again. That's my good.
That's a great good. John Angelos was never getting your good until he did this.
Right,
So, so good for
right.
him. Congrats,
Yeah.
John Angelos.
Yeah,
All
John Angelos went from
right.
shitty to bad to then good. As I thought about it more and more, good for you. You cash out, you create generational wealth that your father created for you, and you can't get along with your brother. Your mom sued you. It's just, I'm like,
Yeah. Get out. He made
I'm
a
so
ton of money.
excited
I
for the
mean,
future.
yeah,
Yeah.
good stuff. All right. Keep us going. Who's your bad?
My bad is going to be and I'm sorry if I take it from you, but it's going to be the Mahomes family. The Mahomes family, while Patrick is the greatest of all time, pretty much, in my opinion. I think he's the best quarterback that's ever walked on the gridiron. His dad gets arrested for DUI. Nobody likes Brittany Mahomes. At the end of the day, the family, Jackson Mahomes, sexual assault, arrested, aggravated battery, just nobody likes them, and I feel so bad for Pat because this happens right before you're on the biggest stage and people are gonna be talking about your family. I would fight anybody who talked about my family, but at the same time, my bad is the fact that this shit keeps happening, to Pat Mahomes, and I don't like his wife because she's annoying, get it, fine, it is what it is, but then you got your brother and your dad out there being criminals, and it's really just detracting from you as the type of person that you are because I think he's a good dude. Watching the QB show on Netflix or whatever, I think he's a real good dude. And he clearly came from family that's is what it
Yeah,
is.
for
But
sure.
it's the Mahomes family all in general. I'm rooting for the 49ers, so I'm against Patrick. I know he's a good guy, but Big Pat, get your shit together. Little Pat, little Mahomes, get your shit together. And Brittany, just let Taylor take it away, right? So my bad is the Mahomes family leading up to Patrick's biggest day, I guess, in his season and his work that he does. So, but yeah, that's my bad. Sorry if I took it from you, but
No,
recent happenings.
no, that's a phenomenal selection. I was thinking about giving Pat Mahomes Senior a shitty, but the way you put it is perfect because that whole family has issues and feels like it seems like Patrick just got everything good his way, and then everybody else can't keep their shit together. It's
He's a good
unfortunate.
guy, man. He's a good guy.
Yep, yep.
Doesn't need the bad pub.
I'm rooting for him. Don't worry, he'll win on Sunday. Yeah. All right, I'll get us going. I'll keep us going on bads. My bad. You mentioned this quickly before, but my bad is the Milwaukee Brewers for trading Corbin Burns to the Orioles in the AL East. Come on, get him, keep him in the NL or something. What are we doing here? I don't need him. I don't need to be legitimizing the Orioles even more. They won the division last year. If there was one downside to them, it was they don't have an ace. Now they have an ace, along with some impressive young pitching. All
And
of the
John Means
prospects
back.
and the hole that the Brewers got. I mean, the Orioles have so many top prospects, and they got Joey Ortiz, who was what, sixth or seventh on in their top 10, and completely blocked in the infield, and DL Hall, who might be a closer, probably not good enough to be a starter. It doesn't seem like he's much. I mean, I was hoping to see either Colton Cowser, Kobe Mayo, Heston Kjerstad,
No.
one of those guys in there. I know Jackson Holliday's not going anywhere, but and the guys that are playing right now, they're not moving them. But I was hoping to see one of those bigger names in the package, so I was quite disappointed in my Milwaukee Brewers, who pretty sure they seem to be always be contending. I don't know why you're trading Burns away. I know Brandon Woodruff is out for the year now, and they non-tendered him. He's not on the team, so maybe they're just trying to blow things up. Uh,
Burns a free agent at the end of the year. So
yeah,
we'll see.
yeah. So we'll see there. But hopefully he works out better than Flaherty did because he wasn't good. And the interesting thing also at that trade, they got draft pick number 34, which I don't recall seeing that in MLB trades like ever. Is this a new thing? Is this
It's the competitive balance picks. Like it's the picks like if
trade for
somebody
us?
you trade for somebody and they didn't re-sign or whatever. But yeah, we gave up our first round pick, but I think we're cool. I think we're good with that. Like
I think
Jackson
you're
Holiday's
fine.
only 20 years old. Like,
Yeah.
and you're right, Joey Ortiz was blocked by Holiday. He was blocked by Westberg. He was blocked by Gunner. He was blocked in the outfield by Heston Kjerstad and Colton Cowser. I
Oh,
wouldn't have been surprised. And then, of course, Kobe Mayo hasn't even come up yet. He's the third base, first baseman. And then we have Mountcastle as well. So we've got a glut of stuff, and it's awesome. I mean, this is what you tanked for 6 years for, potentially. But the fact that he's not signed long term does frustrate me. But what we gave up, it's okay. I'm okay with that. Like
mhm,
DL Hall, I love. I really think his stuff is incredible. But like you said, he he's a bullpen guy. He's a bullpen guy.
yeah,
And he came in and he lit it up in September. He was incredible with the big club. So I think that's what Milwaukee saw. But at the end of the day, man, I'm so excited to not have an Ubaldo Jimenez leading nation, to not have that type of player, to have an actual elite player at the top is going to be awesome.
yeah.
But yeah,
I'm
I don't
happy
know what
for
the
you. I'm
Brewers are doing, man.
scared.
They sign Reese Hoskins and then they get rid of Corbin Burns and then the on-tender Woodruff. I don't know what they're doing either, man.
Yeah, I don't really get it. I don't look at them as contender. They brought in a new manager, Pat Murphy, but
Not by
they
choice either.
no, they lost
Kelsey.
counsel to,
Yeah.
and the Cubs spent all their money on counsel and then haven't really done anything. Well, they did make a move recently, and Bellinger is still in play, but I don't know. Anyway, Brewers, you're bad.
Yeah. All right. Who's
Uh,
your shitty?
my shitty, kind of a tie to let's call it teams coaching hires. I'm shocked by some of these here.
This is
And
mine.
no,
Let's talk
okay,
about it.
all right,
No, it's good. Mine was
yeah,
commander specific, but
okay, okay, all right. Well, let me
got it.
start. Let me start because I have them there. But let me start with the Steelers. Arthur Smith. You want Arthur Smith as your offensive coordinator? What the fuck are you doing? How is he still in the NFL after what he did in Atlanta? An offensive coordinator. That guy had so much fucking talent, pure offensive talent in Atlanta. He couldn't make any of it work. And he wouldn't even give his best players the football. What are you doing? I don't even know what the Steelers offense is gonna look like next year, but it's gonna be a disaster. And I just if I'm a Steelers fan, I'm stunned. I'm shocked. I'm upset.
Yeah, who
I
stepped in for Matt Canada mid-season?
whoever he was much
He did
better
a
than
great job.
Canada and probably should have retained the job. I don't understand it. I really don't. And these failed head coaches who keep getting their coordinator positions with new teams, it's just like the Jets with Nathaniel Hackett. When they
Yeah,
made that hire, I know there's the Rodgers connection, but you saw how much of a disaster it was. And now there's reports that they're keeping him as offensive coordinator, but might give play calling to somebody else. Like, ugh, what are we doing? What are we doing? But I
I
don't
don't.
understand these decisions. And like I said, the Titans firing Vrabel, I don't understand. And the fact that he's still out there and really he's going to get a coordinator position, he should be a head coach today. Fire Robert Saleh and get me Mike Vrabel. I mean,
Got
come
you.
on. I don't understand it. And
So
I
did
don't
you?
hate Salah, but like this guy is an unbelievable head coach. Get him in here. Salah hasn't done shit in 3 years now.
Yeah, and he's really kind of taken a back seat a little bit too. I mean, Salah's become less of the fiery head coach and more of the like diplomat.
Yeah,
It
the
seems like,
positive
and it,
vibes coach.
yeah, yeah, it's not. That's not what he was hired for.
No.
But at the end of the day, I'm trying to look at who was the offensive coordinator for they clearly don't want you to find it here. But whoever stepped in for Matt Canada after he was fired midseason last year should have been the offensive coordinator because
Yeah.
you put Mason Rudolph in the second round of the freaking playoffs, like, or in the
Yeah.
first round of the playoffs. Like, come on now. Come on now.
I don't understand it. And now
But
to lead to yours, the other one was the Commanders bringing in Dan Quinn. I don't get that. Quinn has look, he had he brought the team to a Super Bowl and that's great, but you saw what happened in that Super Bowl and the Cowboys defense last year has so much talent and was good, but was very inconsistent and very weak at times. Now, real quick, the Commanders did just saw this on Sunday while we recorded. They just made a nice hire, I think, bringing in Cliff Kingsbury as offensive coordinator. I liked it, but I'm gonna pass it to you now. My shitty is I don't understand these hires. I don't know what we're doing. I don't know how Mike Vrabel and Bill Belichick don't have head coaching jobs when
I
guys
don't
like
need, dude.
Dan Quinn are getting hired.
My
So
mind is blown, and the only thing that I could say is that the fact that the NCAA is changing so much, and there's so much crap going on down there with NIL and whatever, you got NCAA head coaches looking for NFL jobs because they don't want to deal with. Chip Kelly's been
heard
interviewing
that.
with everybody.
Yeah,
You got Jim Harbaugh taking over the Chargers, which is where Belichick should have gone.
that was a good
Um,
hire.
so I think that there's like a little bit of a bottom pushing the top out. You know what I mean?
Uh,
Like the older head coaches are getting pushed out for these like new head coaches or whatever. And you've got plenty of people who are looking to jump ship from NCAA programs. That being said, did you read anything about the Vrabel firing?
uh,
So,
I heard about the Patriots Ring of Honor ceremony being an issue.
right. So he said there's no other organization in the NFL, and you guys are lucky that's run like this, and you guys are lucky to be here. Essentially, I'm summing it up. Those don't quote me, but that didn't sit well with the is it Mary Kay Cabot?
Sounds
There's
right.
a the owner of the Titans is a lady. She's a great business lady,
Amy
whatever.
Adams Strunk.
Amy Adams, Strunk, yes. That didn't sit well with her, and I think that he wanted more influence in the front office, which she didn't like. She said essentially anybody who has personnel decisions and coaching decisions, it's almost like a monopoly. She just didn't like him. They didn't get along, and that's why he got fired. There's no reason he should have been fired. But there's also no reason that that man should not have a head coaching job. And there's no reason he shouldn't be out there. But that being said, I think he should wait. I don't think he should jump at anything. Now, he was one of the defensive coordinators at Ohio State for a while. I would love to see him back, but we're doing okay over there. I think he waits a year. And I wouldn't be surprised if, like you said, becomes a coordinator and then becomes a head coach. But I just don't think he should be a coordinator at all. Now, getting to the Commanders, you're the last person to hire a fucking head coach. Come on. You're probably the number one team that needs to figure out who your head coach should be. And Ron Rivera is interviewing for DC jobs. I'm glad that he's going to continue his career. I like the man. I think he's a horrible coach, but I don't think Dan Quinn's any better.
No, it's
Dan Quinn is no better than Ron Rivera. What are you doing? What are you doing? And that was just my New Jersey accent coming out there. Now, I
not.
am pumped about the Cliff Kingsbury signing,
That
but
was
I've
good.
also heard that his offense sucks. And the way that he runs his offense sucks. And I see Kyler Murray sucked. Like he was terrible. Like, come on. What are we doing here? You have an opportunity for Bill Belichick, Mike Vrabel, and even Pete Carroll, or even I would take Chip Kelly as well. I honestly would as my head coach. But if you're going to fire Ron Rivera and replace him with almost the exact same dude, I don't know really what we're doing here. Cliff Kingsbury, one of my favorite college quarterbacks of all time, up there with Graham Harrell, the Texas Tech tree under Mike Leach, Crabtree, all those guys. I love that run and gun offense, but it's not. I don't think it's an NFL offense. And you had an opportunity here, and I think you kind of blew it by waiting too long and just getting the guy that was left. I'm a fan of Dan Quinn, but not as a head coach. No, we'll see what happens.
No,
The only thing I can point to is we get Cliff Kingsbury. He's been working with Caleb Williams for the last year at
as what?
USC as an analyst. That could mean something if the Bears are going Marvin Harrison or, whatever.
Trading back.
Would be way okay with that, hiring Cliff Kingsbury just to get Caleb Williams. Fully fine with it. But we'll see. I don't understand the Ben Johnson thing that happened. I'm going to stay in Detroit. I don't understand um, obviously, Nathaniel Hackett. I understand the Harbaugh signing. I don't
Yes,
understand McCarthy. You're right.
I get
It does.
McCarthy. I would take Mike McCarthy as my head coach tomorrow.
Sure,
Also,
sure. Okay.
for
Right.
me, I just when he was available a couple years back when the Jets decided to hire Adam Gase instead of Mike McCarthy, there were so many fans who were like, "Oh, McCarthy had Rodgers all those years, couldn't win." They won one, first of all. Second of all, that we're seeing, Aaron Rodgers isn't the end all be all of a team's success. Mike McCarthy always has the Cowboys in it, and in the playoffs, and
All
he's
right,
a
I'll flip that one.
smart head coach, and he experienced, and people want to say shit, whatever. I would take him in a heartbeat over what we have right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. I would take pretty much anybody in a heartbeat over what we did here
I
in the coaching search.
I
And
don't, yeah, I don't know what these
it,
things
it,
are doing. I don't
I
get it.
mean, Dan Quinn went to a Super Bowl, lost that Super Bowl epically. Epically. Defensive guy brings in an offensive coordinator who's offensive minded. I don't hate it. I think these guys could be the sexiest guys in football and on and off the field. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't really know what we're doing. We have so much cap space. We have the second pick in the draft, and Kingsbury that up in Arizona. He screwed it up
Yes, he
in
did.
Arizona, and I'm
Yeah,
just interested to see how this goes. But yeah,
yeah,
the coaching carousel I think has been influenced by what's going on at the lower levels as well. And I think they're pushing out some of the older coaches
yes.
because there's more interest in people jumping into the NFL as both coordinators and head coaches as well.
Yeah,
So
you're seeing the young guys, the young players staying, and I mean, I think the Raiders made the right call with keeping Pierce.
I agree.
It seemed like the players and the team loved him, the fans loved him. They looked like a different team under him. So that one made sense. But yeah, I mean, it's these young coaches. D'Amico Ryan's with the Texans now, and these guys who we grew up watching watching play football are kind of the breed of head coach that
What's your
that
take
teams
on
need now.
Raheem Morris, by the way?
Yeah, I don't. I'll be honest. I was shocked. I was kind of surprised at that one. I didn't really get the Falcons picking Raheem Morris over. Look, if Bill Belichick said no, okay, but that's the
Right.
only thing that I can explain. Like, what about Raheem Morris is more appealing to your franchise than Bill Belichick?
Only thing I can think of is age. But if I get
That's
5
the
years of
thing.
Bill
That like
Belichick, I'm pumped. I'd take that over 30 years of Raheem
take it.
Morris.
I mean, all you need there, I think, is a quarterback. You don't have a terrible roster there. Shore up the defense a bit, but the offensive skill players there there's not many teams that have better guys there. I think, I think Arthur Smith fucked it up. But hey, I mean, apparently he's good enough to be an offensive coordinator again. So what do I know?
It's crazy. Oh, well, we know nothing.
We know
We
nothing.
know nothing.
That is true. That is true. All right, that's GBS. Chris, you got anything else for us?
Yeah, rare that I agree with an Italian, but
Oh,
Rick Pitino
excuse me.
said that the NCAA Enforcement Committee should be disbanded, and is kind of a joke at this point, and he's right. And I agree with Rick Pitino, St. John's head coach. The state of Tennessee and I believe the state of Georgia are suing the NCAA for their NIL policies and anything that they do enforcement wise. I think they just take a back seat, let these colleges run their businesses the way that they run their businesses. And I think Rick Pitino is actually smart in this regard. It's kind of a joke. He gets sanctioned by the NCAA, just like Michigan did. You're going to just sue him, right? And then nothing's going to happen for another 5, 6, 7 years, just like it's been. So there you go. Again, not often I agree with an Italian, but he's right.
Italians know best, and I'm always right, so makes sense. I've always liked Patino.
He's
He
great.
was he was in the MAC for a little bit, and then jumped
Iona.
to say I know. Then
He was
jumped
in
to
Greece or Turkey too, and now he's St. John's. St. John's just gave UConn a run for their money. We're shaping up for a good NCAA tournament. I'm telling you. Your boy Zach Edey just took down Wisconsin at home.
nice things.
You're going to be betting on Purdue hardcore. I can tell.
No, no, I'm not. All my college basketball bets coming from you the last couple of years were just Purdue losses. Anytime I touch that team, and they've already
Did I
lost
tell
it
you Virginia the year
twice.
before too? Yeah,
Yeah, they've already lost what twice this year, 3 times. Like they're supposed to be the best team in college basketball, and they look pretty vulnerable to
dude.
me.
If you have under 5 losses in a college basketball season, you're elite.
Sure, I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I don't see them going anywhere, but that's a discussion for another day.
Anyhow. Moving on. You love Zach Edey. You have his rookie card.
It's great.
It hasn't even come out
Unbelievable.
yet.
I do not. All right.
You love him as much as Martin Prado,
Oh, my favorite Yankee of all time, Martin
all
Prado.
time.
He was so good. He was so
He was the
good.
best. You love him.
He was phenomenal. All right, Chris. It was fun to get back in here, get the Sports Clash back going again. We'll be posting throughout the week. We are excited for the Super Bowl. We will put our best bets on the sheet, share out before the Super Bowl, and we're gonna try to do this at least every other week moving forward, pending how crazy life is. But we're not stopping. We're keeping going. The Clash is alive and well. Thank you all who continue to listen to us, support us everywhere: YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, the talk of ticks, all that good stuff. We love you. Thank you. Have a good night.
Go Niners.
Peace.